Every great building starts with a blueprint. Before the first stone is laid, before the foundation is poured, there's a plan. The kingdom of God is no exception. The main elements of that plan were first recorded in the Abrahamic Covenant, a divine blueprint spanning dispensations, guiding the unfolding purpose of God through the past 4,000 years of history. And Bahá'u'llah's covenant, it is the foundation poured out for the kingdom in this day, revealed first in his book of the covenant, and then affirmed and further revealed by Abdu'l-Bahá in his will and testament. In this episode, we'll look at the two successors named by Baha'u'lláh in his book of the covenant, one who proved faithful and one who turned away. We'll trace how that failure became the first great test of the Baha'i Covenant, and how the promise still held firm. Because God doesn't abandon his purpose, and his covenant doesn't end with betrayal. It finds faithful servants of his cause to carry it forward. Together, the Kitáb-i Ahd, which means Book of the Covenant, and the Will and Testament of Abdu'l-Bahá form the sealed scroll described in the book of Revelation, chapter 5, written within and on the back, sealed with 7 seals. When Abdu'l-Bahā's will and testament was retrieved after his passing, it was discovered to have been sealed with 7 of his signatures, and inside was the original copy of the Kitáb-i Ahd. The scroll had 2 sides. The inside, or written within, was Baha'u'llah's covenant. The back, sealed with 7 seals, was the will and testament. Let's begin with what Baha'u'llah's Kitáb-i Ahd says about succession, because the greatest tests always arise closest to the heart of the cause. If those entrusted with authority under the covenant prove to be power-grabbing, they are unfit to lead the faith. Corruption flows downhill. When the top is compromised, those under its influence are also likely to bend toward corruption. Baha'u'llah begins, "O ye my branches," an Arabic idiom that means sons. The word is agsan, plural for branch. In his book of the covenant, Baha'u'llah names 2 successors, the most great branch, a title for his son Abdu'l-Bahá, and the greater branch, another son, Mirza Muhammad Ali. Baha'u'llah writes, "It is incumbent upon the agsan to turn toward the most great branch." In other words, he is instructing his other sons to turn toward Abdu'l-Bahá. And later, "Verily, God hath ordained the station of the greater branch, Muhammad Ali, to be beneath that of the most great branch, Abdu'l-Bahá. He is in truth the ordainer, the all-wise. We have chosen Muhammad Ali after Abdu'l-Bahá, as decreed by him who is the all-knowing, the all-informed." So the order was clear. Abdu'l-Bahá was first in line of succession. Muhammad Ali was to follow after him. As we'll see later, these 2 individual leaders of the faith were to then be followed by the Universal House of Justice in its embryonic form. When Baha'u'llah passed in 1892, his covenant went into effect. Almost immediately, Muhammad Ali rebelled. Instead of honoring his brother's leadership, he tried to undermine it, spreading division and even appealing to the Ottoman authorities to have Abdu'l-Bahá imprisoned. His betrayal nearly cost Abdu'l-Bahá his life. In response, Abdu'l-Bahá eventually identified Muhammad Ali as a covenant breaker. In his will and testament, he writes that Muhammad Ali became a fallen branch, cut off from the holy tree. This wasn't just a family feud. It was a test of the covenant itself and a warning for the future that even if your name is written into the covenant by the manifestation himself, you can still lose your station by turning against it. So, what happened to the second individual appointment in Baha'u'llah's covenant? The Apostle Paul wrote, "For there is no respecter of persons in God." His promises don't depend on personalities. His religion isn't a cult, and he doesn't rewrite his covenant every time someone fails. His purpose continues, and his provisions are fulfilled through those who remain faithful. The covenant didn't end with Muhammad Ali's betrayal. Abdu'l-Bahá had both the station and the authority to name a replacement, and that's exactly what he did. The provision in Baha'u'llah's covenant for two individual leaders of the faith wasn't nullified. It was fulfilled through a process of pruning and grafting in. Coming up next, if Muhammad Ali failed, who took his place? In the next episode, we'll follow how Abdu'l-Bahá passed the torch to a branch from another tree, and how the line of David was preserved through adoption. To learn more, visit schooloftheland.com, where history's oldest promise meets humanity's future.